Imagine waking up with $1 billion in your checking account. If you wanted to buy the ultimate symbol of wealth, where would you start? You might think of a Ferrari, but at this level of wealth, a standard $300,000 Ferrari is basically a mass-produced consumer good. There is a completely different tier of vehicles coming in 2027. We are talking about the strict hypercar tier, where having the cash is only the bare minimum requirement. For these cars, the manufacturers run deep background checks on you before you can even see a brochure. You have to be placed on highly secretive VIP-only invite lists. This chart shows the massive gap between these two worlds. On the left, a normal supercar. On the right, the hypercar tier, starting at $3 million. That red X shows that even with the money, you simply aren't allowed to cross over. If you do manage to get past the velvet rope, you face a very real choice. You have to decide between dealing with the massive maintenance headaches of race car engineering or committing to pure, untouchable bespoke status. At this extreme level, these vehicles are permanent memberships in an untouchable social tier. This overview maps out the billionaire dilemma, starting with our first major category, the track monsters. This category is obsessed with one very specific goal: applying extreme aerodynamic engineering to break the 300-mile-per-hour barrier. Take the Hennessy Venom F5. It pushes out over 1,800 horsepower, prioritizing raw speed and ground-hugging aerodynamics over any kind of cabin comfort. The trade-off here is immediate physical danger. This car is so powerful that you have to pass a mandatory specialized driving class before the company will even hand over the keys. Then there is the Aston Martin Valkyrie. They essentially built a track-ready Formula One car and put a license plate on it. The interior is so unapologetically cramped that they have to physically map your exact body shape to custom fit your seat. Mercedes took a similar route with the AMG 1, literally dropping an actual race-winning Formula One engine directly into a street-legal chassis. But applying track mechanics to street driving creates a severe maintenance reality. That complex F1 engine requires a complete, extremely expensive rebuild every 30,000 miles. On top of the mechanical upkeep, owners have to navigate endless bureaucratic headaches just to satisfy the strict emission and safety regulations required to keep a literal race engine legal on public roads. Choosing a track monster guarantees the ultimate physical adrenaline rush, but it demands continuous, exhausting financial maintenance and expert-level driving skill. Moving through our overview, we can shift to the second major lifestyle category, the purest art pieces. This path completely rejects modern digital screens and heavy automatic systems. It focuses on preserving analog mechanics and a classic tactile feel. The Gordon Murray T50 is a perfect example. The driver sits directly in the center of the cabin, and that massive fan on the back physically sucks the car down to the road to grip tight corners. Or look at the Koenigsegg CC850. It features a highly complex, purely mechanical manual transmission. You actually shift the gears yourself with a stick and a clutch. The $4 million Pagani Utopia completely ditches standard modern interiors. Opening the butterfly doors reveals an aesthetic built entirely out of shiny metal and rich leather, resembling a high-end pocket watch from the 1900s. The trade-off for this level of mechanical purity is significant. You give up the large digital screens and automated driving systems, relying entirely on your own physical input. This path earns you absolute respect from automotive purists, but it leaves zero margin for error when you are out on the road. Finally, our overview brings us to the most extreme category of all, the ultimate flex. In this category, a staggering $4 million is merely the entry fee. At $14 million, the SP Automotive Chaos justifies its cost by relying heavily on space-grade 3D printed materials normally reserved for rockets. Then there is the new Bugatti Tourbillon, which focuses its value entirely on physical luxury to make sure the interior never feels outdated. Notice how the dashboard completely ignores digital displays. These speed gauges are built by Swiss watchmakers out of actual precious gems and gold. But the absolute peak of pricing belongs to the Rolls-Royce Droptail, carrying a mind-bending price tag of $30 million. The trade-off for this level of status is your time and privacy. You have to commit to 4 years of secret meetings and extreme background checks with the manufacturer before they even begin production. The result is hyper-bespoke. Rolls-Royce employs teams of artists for months just to hand-assemble specific wood grains on the back deck, and they custom mix the paint to match the color of a specific flower the buyer likes. These vehicles act as moving monuments, existing solely to signal untouchable wealth and total exclusivity. This comparison highlights the real choices facing these buyers, weighing raw power against bespoke luxury across our three billionaire paths. If you choose extreme speed, you get top-tier performance, but it is a nightmare if you expect low-effort luxury. If you select analog purity, you secure classic respect, but the learning curve is punishing. Choosing the ultimate flex maxes out your status, treating the vehicle as a social weapon designed to dominate any environment. Looking at these distinct trade-offs, you have to decide what matters more: pushing the limits of physics, preserving classic engineering, or making everyone else intensely jealous. Think about which path fits your hypothetical billionaire identity and log your specific choice down in the comments below. Extreme wealth does not eliminate your problems. It just changes the type of problems you have to solve. Hit that subscribe button to keep exploring the mechanics and trade-offs of the top 1%.